All right, let's talk about something huge. We're going to tackle a big question. Where does real skill actually come from? We're going to dive into the architecture of mastery and, maybe bust a myth that most of us have believed our whole lives.
You know the story, right? It's the one we're all told. We see some amazing musician, a ridiculously gifted athlete, or a brilliant artist, and what's our first thought? Wow, they were just born with it. We call it talent, and it feels like this magical thing you either have or you don't.
Yeah, about that. It doesn't. That whole way of looking at greatness, it's pretty much a myth. The real source of skill is something way more interesting and honestly, way more accessible than you'd think.
So, first things first, let's just dismantle this whole idea of talent. We need to swap it out for a much more powerful, much more useful concept, and that's mastery. Okay, check this out, because this is the core difference. On the one side, you've got the myth of talent. It's sold to us as this secret shortcut, something you're just born with. It's mysterious, and here's the kicker. It's completely out of your control. But then, on the other side, you have the reality of mastery. And this isn't a gift, it's a system. It's not something that just happens to you. It's something you deliberately build brick by brick. It's a process. And you know what that means? It means anyone can do it.
So, if mastery is a system you can build, where does that building actually happen? Well, it's not on the big stage under the bright lights. Nope. The real work happens somewhere, well, a lot less glamorous.
And here it is. This is the whole secret. Real skill is forged in those small, unseen, usually kind of uncomfortable moments. You know the ones. The moments we're all tempted to just skip over because they don't feel like a big win. But trust me, these are the moments that matter the most. Okay, so let's get into the nuts and bolts here. If there's a system, we need to know the steps, right? What do these quiet moments actually look like when you're doing them? Well, it turns out they can be broken down into 4 really clear, repeatable parts.
Think of this as a loop, a cycle with 4 crucial stages. First up is the pause. This is just that moment you take to reflect before you jump in. You ask yourself, okay, what am I actually trying to get better at right now? Then comes number 2, the discomfort. This is that feeling of being new at something, of being, well, bad at it. It's totally non-negotiable. You have to be willing to embrace that feeling, not run away from it. Third is the patience. This is where you gently push yourself just a little bit past what's easy. You're stretching, but you're not breaking. It's the sweet spot for learning. And finally, number 4, the courage. This is where you take everything you've practiced and you actually use it. You risk messing up in the real world just to see what happens. And then the loop starts all over again.
So this all leads us to a brand new definition of mastery. It's not about that one flawless performance that everybody sees and applauds. No way. It's about the messy, imperfect, but consistent system that you repeat day after day, especially when nobody's watching. That is the real work, and it has absolutely nothing to do with being talented. Now let's bring this all back to a feeling I know we've all had, hitting a wall. You know that super frustrating plateau where you just feel like you are making zero progress? Well, if you look at it through this framework, that feeling is not what you think it is. This is such a powerful idea. Feeling stuck is almost always a sign that you are right on the edge of a breakthrough. It's that feeling of discomfort right before growth happens. It's the friction just before you unlock a whole new level. So the next time you feel that way, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as proof you're in exactly the right place, pushing right up against the edge of your abilities. That's where all the progress is made. So, I'll leave you with this to chew on. What skill are you trying to build right now? Maybe it's learning an instrument, or a new language, or just getting good at some software. Wherever you are in that journey, where can you find the pause? Where can you embrace that discomfort, practice with a little more patience, and find the courage to just try it out? Because the architecture of mastery, it's not some secret gift for a lucky few. It's a system, and it is absolutely within your reach.